I know it says I'm live on my channel. I have it. So good evening. And I've got hello Kim, you find me. Um, Welcome Kamari and anyone else who's going to join. I'll just share my stream and I'll get my eye on the prize and see how everyone's getting on. I've got a number of screens set up to try and get the best information for you guys. I've had quite a lot of help setting up today from the likes of yourself, Kamari. Also, Mickey has given me quite a lot of information to work with, so hopefully I should be able to keep you all well informed for the race ahead. Just got back from work, so still a bit excited, but hopefully by the time the race starts I'll calm down a bit. Yeah, this is the inaugural race of 2024. We're at Grand Valley, Group 3 cars, and yeah, looking to have some good, clean racing, as we usually have in the driver's room. I think usually Kamari followed Master Gadget around our track, our series host. But yes, first off, we're looking at Ivan today. I'm just going to try and get some stats up for Ivan and see how it goes. I believe Ivan's had a podium before, but I'll just double check that. So Ivan Blave, sometimes known as, is gone with the BMW M6. He was in the BMW M6 last season, as I recall. He's been with us for quite a few seasons. Best season was season 2, where he amassed nearly £400. Not 100% sure what position that gave him in the series. But yes, it is registered that Ivan has one win. So he'll be looking to rediscover that form coming into 2024. I think I actually said the first race of the season is 2023. No, it's 2024. And he's had 5 podiums in Tier 1 as well. Also, driver who came through Tier 2 and Tier 3. Ivan's been with us for a good while. Driver number 2 is Miller, driving the BMW M3, and not a car I would usually pick, but I think Miller, he gets a lot of enjoyment out of the series, still managing to keep in Tier 1, which is very impressive. He's experimented with, I remember the modern Toyota Le Mans car, the most modern Le Mans car that we have. He was driving that. It's not very competitive, but he's just wanting to drive cars that aren't usually picked, try to get some enjoyment out of it. And maybe with this BMW there might be some tuning elements that you can use to make it a bit faster than it would normally be at normal BOP. And yeah, speaking of speed, up behind him is Cartman. He's in the new RX Vision GT. But yes, we'll come to him in a second. This is going to be the 167th race for Miller. That's quite a number. I'm not actually sure how many ADEC races there are, but Miller's possibly done the most, if not somewhere close. He's been with us from nearly the very, very start, and yeah, he's not taking any breaks, and he's always up for a good bit of racing. And out of those 166 races, he's a total of 5 wins, 2 of which come in Tier 1. Next up, we have Paul. I sort of have taken Paul. I'll work on his pronunciation in future to make sure I get this right. But yes, he, I believe, is the man in charge of the GTKR, hence his ID there. Actually fielding a team and a sister team as well. One of the 3 main teams that have sister teams, as far as I'm aware. But yes, I'll just check. I believe, yes, he is going to be competing in PlayStation 2 VR. So this is a first driver of note to be using the VR today. So he'll be having quite the experience from inside the car. I think the Porsche has good vision. It's a car that sits quite low, so it does mean you kind of aren't really restricted by seeing in front of you with the car being high. The vision around the cockpit, it may not be perfect, but I believe it is quite good. So I'm just trying to find his name on the list. But yes, I'll focus on the current race. We've done a few introductions. Another driver, he's just returning from his sabbatical. I sort of know this offhand. I'm not actually off the top of my head sure how he performed in 2022, but I've had a number of races with Luco in 2023. Great driver. Haven't always gotten the best of him myself. He's always a driver who, when he's able to find time for a race, put on a good pace and a good performance. Yeah, he'll be looking to have a good race today. But the drivers, just a few minutes before Gadget starts to think about starting qualifying, I'll just run by the track. But today we're at Grand Valley Highway Route 1, the longer layouts. Previously, we have done the short layout of this variant, and that Cartman picked up P1, closely followed by Gadget, who as a previous champion. In fact, I think he's possibly the only previous champion on the grid at the minute. He did a good job driving the Super today. A lot of you will notice he has taken a bit of a nerf. 6% power reduction as a 6 horsepower power reduction, as I believe, but yeah, it's a strong car, so hopefully he can still put on a good performance. I'm not sure he'll be able to beat the likes of Cartman for the win, but you never know. Never know. Things could happen to drivers up front, you know. Good evening, Blue. Thanks for tuning in. To be honest, I'm with you there, Blue. Blue Racer, of course, into chat, was our champion from last season. I tried to stop him, but he's just too fast for me. So yeah, I had to come runner up to yourself, Blue, last season. But I'm sure, hey, if you did have to do this race, I'm sure you'd fight for it, and you'd definitely be giving Cartman a run for his money. In fact, it seems Paul in the Porsche are putting in the closest pace to Cartman. He's basically there at the minute. We're not in qualifying, so obviously the drivers will be a bit more on form come the qualifying laps. But at the minute, it looks like the GT UKR driver team manager is in good form to try and stick close to Cartman. My sort of outside choice for a good performance this season, as I said, was Luco, and he's also, as I say, quite close at the front, so I don't think this is going to be an easy, straightforward race for Cartman so far, but we will see. He definitely is the favourite going into this round. He's recently moved on to the wheel. I've been racing him in DRSL on Sundays, DRTP on Tuesdays, and he's just as fast as he was in the controller, but now he has a bit better race management in terms of tyre wear and stuff. In the start, when he first got it, he has been struggling with a wee bit of instability. As you can see, he's got a wee bit tail happy there. Might be intentional, just putting on a show for the spectators. But yes, I can't deny I am hoping for a strong race from Cartman today. A previous teammate of mine did quite a bit of damage with the GT Motorsport. But yes, that team is going to be taking the season off. And yeah, qualifying starts. Need to sort of keep up with this. There's quite a lot going on, but I'll try my best to to keep in touch with everything. Um, I don't think who's that who's gotten out of the pits first. H-Boss has done quite well. It's been a long time since this has happened, but he's actually got out of the pits ahead of Gadget. So Gadget just a wee bit tardy, slightly on the qualifying, getting the throttle down, and H-Boss has actually sneaked ahead, so it's quite impressive so far. It's a small victory so far, but yeah, we'll be jumping on board with H-Boss for the opening lap, and I think these drivers back here might be wanting to think about spreading themselves out a bit. Dirty air can be very challenging at this track, especially on that downhill section that was just ran through. But we have Miller driving through now. Yes, I've seen it as well, Kim. Gadget wasn't first out of the pits today, so yeah, as a reward, I'm going to join H-Boss for the first qualifying lap of the year. Number 44, Lewis Hamilton's number, that. Yeah. If you can put on Lewis Hamilton performance, he could be in with a good placement. I think realistically H-Boss might be able to think about a podium, see how things go. But yes, we'll jump on board with him here as we come through the tunnel, down to the back straight, the second longest straight on this track, I believe, or the front straight, not the back straight. Yeah, to be honest, Blue, you've made a good point there with the BOP. I am not 100% sure myself because there's been a big shake-up this morning, so just in time for for our ADEC season. I think a similar thing happened last year as well, where there was a few BOP updates on the days of the race in our opening season last year. So maybe Gadget's Thursday seemed to be a good day for Gran Turismo doing updates. Might look into that later, but yeah, definitely rolling the dice a bit for all of our drivers today. Porsche, good for a tricky section. It's not a car I've driven much, but I am aware it's got good straight line speed, good handling too. Thanks for confirming that for me, Paul. Thursday is Gran Turismo's update day. I've got a good amount of views in today, so we're getting quite a lot of interest in this one, which I do appreciate. I'm trying my best to try and keep on top of everything. Kamari has been doing it for quite a while, and we've gotten used to his commentary, but I can say there is quite a lot going on. It does feel almost a wee bit hard to keep up with everything, but I will try my best. We've got H-Boss coming across the line, a 1:47.6. Strong time. Luco does manage to beat it though, and actually manages to beat Cartman as well. So Luco has come out of the gate strong, going off of the practice times as well. That does seem a pretty competitive time that Luco has put in. It's very impressive from the British driver. To see Miller has managed to 150. So yeah, he'll be hoping for a wee bit faster than that, I imagine. Maybe possibly a bit quicker. Did notice Savano, last guy across the line, he did have a wee crash. Well, that was in the warm-up lap, so I'm not too sure. He's had another right lap, so had to repair some damage, possibly. Really? That's interesting to know. Well, just bringing it to my attention, we haven't had an update since mid last year, actually. We're trying to get on top of some of the fast guys. We've had our first laps. G-Rabbit surprised me there. I thought everyone was done, but he came in with a bit of clean air, and he's managed to do a 1:46.5, 2 tenths quicker than Luco, and very impressive time. A driver who's been with the driver's room for a very long time is actual fact. I remember must have been back early 2021. He was coming through the free tier system that we had then to see how he can get on. Had some very, very strong performances back then. He was with us in name last season. I don't believe he did too many races, but he's coming out strong. Luco does manage to get a wee bit closer to him there. We've got Cartman coming into the pits, and just go follow Paul to see. He feels like he wants to finish this lap, so he might be on a good one. No improvement there from Paul. But we have an improvement from G-Rabbit. Nope. He's just got to use up a bit of his fuel, get his tyres down, and maybe go for it again coming into the last 5 minutes. And I'm quite impressed at how close it is at the moment. Cartman isn't having everything his own way so far. We'll join him in a wee bit because he'll probably want to be doing well on his next lap on those fresh tyres. So with Mickey on the night lap, Miller is going out for another lap just now. Vano also on the night lap. So yeah, I think the driver to look forward to soon should be Cartman as he comes up to start his lap. Most other drivers are on worn tyres, so I don't think there'll be any records times. But to run through the grids, currently Vano and Miller are the two drivers back to the field. Vano still struggled to set a time. Then we have Mickey, only 2 seconds back, in the 8th place, so quite close. And Gadget in 7th place, only a second. He's the sort of first of this front pack. The front 7 drivers here, all quite close. So we have H-Boss second off, Ivan just around there, so we've got a 3-car pack about a second off. And then the front 4, all of them 410s, Paul, Cartman, Luco and G-Rabbit look like they're setting the strongest times so far. So just tuning in for Cartman's quali lap. See if he can get it together. Driving the RX Vision. Don't know if this wasn't updated in the BOP update. Cartman has been using it in the FAA races. He's felt very comfortable with it. That's why he's chosen to go with it this season. Does look like he wants to manage his traction. This car is dropping down to the lowest gear for the rotation, but before he puts the power down, he's shifting up in the second to stop the power hitting him too quickly. As he comes into the last sector, into this tight chicane section, probably one of the hardest corners on the circuit. He manages it very well, very comfortably. Let's see how he carries his speed on the main straight. So currently a 10th up on his best time. Not improving his position yet. But that did look very clean coming into the last corners. Let's see what he can perform with. He doesn't improve. Maybe be looking Still has time to do another lap. And I'm just going to check in with Luco as he's on his flying lap, see if he can get close to the leading G rabbits. This is a very technical track, so it's not somewhere where the times can be super close, but so I would say these front three drivers at the minute, for how close they are, this could be very competitive up front. I don't think G Rabbit's too far away, but he is putting on an impressive performance. I was given a heads up that G Rabbit has been putting on some good times in practice, so yeah, he's converting it into good qualifying pace at the moment, which is impressive to see. Looks like he's made some good improvements coming into 2024. Luco, purple at this moment. Looks pretty clean and tidy through there. Can he... I didn't see any major mistakes, so I think his last few corners being quite simple. I think he could get pole position here. He was almost 2 tenths up in the first sector, purple in the second sector. But yeah, so he comes up to the line. This is going to be a 146.6. Not an improvement, lost a wee bit. And just trailing in his slipstream, a distant slipstream. I don't think he was quite close enough to gain any slipstream there, but Cartman has gotten closer to G Rabbit, overtaking Luco in the process. And just in time, we do have G Rabbit coming on to start his qualifying lap. I do honestly think, you see Cartman actually did it on his second lap. I think in this game, as time's going on, the tire temperatures, getting them warmed up has become more and more important. This is a long lap, so you'd imagine it would be warmed up, but it doesn't overly surprise me Cartman's done that. You know, his tires will have been a wee bit more worn, but also more heated up, so it's possible why he had a better second lap. But yes, G Rabbits, if you look at the map, is in his own wee pocket of space. Not a lot of distractions. He's able to get focused on his lap, and he's putting it all together. He's actually improving as well. It seemed like he's putting that super under quite a bit of stress through there, you know. It does. He's quite on the limit from my point of view here. He's obviously found the limits of grip quite well so far. I mean, I drive the Super, so I am very familiar with it. So I can say this does look like a pretty inch perfect lap so far. And he is steadily improving. Luco has managed to improve quite drastically. Cartman has also leveled up quite a bit. That's on their third laps respectively. So I didn't cover them as they came across the line, but yeah, the tyre wear versus the tyre temperature, it seems like it's worth doing a couple of laps to make sure you have that window. Drivers might be thinking about pitting now for one last rush line, but we'll see if that's optimal. So G-Rab is probably going to improve. 46.3, tiny improvement, still technically an improvement. And at the lead of the pack, we have Luco and Cartman, who have been putting on some impressive times. Paul has also just improved to steady improvements, actually, I see, which is quite interesting, up to 46.7. Ivan's gotten a wee bit closer to the front. Was the second behind, now he's only 8 tenths. H-Boss has still his second lap's his best lap. So he's just looking to pick this up a bit better on lower fuel. We're almost at empty tanks actually, as we're coming up to the last laps. Gadget's still in 7th, Mickey is in 8th, so not much has changed in this part of the pack since the start. Ivano has managed to set a lap just marginally quicker than Miller, so these two drivers near the back of the field seem to maybe about a second off Mickey, and then Mickey Gadget and H-Boss are in a sort of set, and then Paul and Ivan have got a wee battle brewing there. Of course, the cars will be different in race trim, and different cars will come through. But as we come on to the final lap, Luco currently holds pole, and we'll focus on these three drivers. Cartman has managed to begin him on that very last lap, pretty much dead level. Can't really split these two, but Luco has got it at the moment. And Cartman is getting very close to Luco, so hopefully that's going to be more slipstream, less dirty air for him. G Rabbit, my goodness, he is. This is virtually the same time he's just set the Cartman, so that's amazingly close. Look at this, 2/10,000ths of a second realistically between the front three. We have Luco has built out of his lap, so I'm just gonna watch this next split, see if Cartman still has a chance. The commentator's curse. Sorry about that one, my friend. That was me. I just started talking about how we were getting on this lap, and it seems to have caused this sort of incident for Cartman. I think there's not really any drivers finished now, so congratulations. I will admit, I did think Luco could pull a shot today, and he has. He's taken pole position, just dropped back from his sabbatical. His team leader of I'm unable to pronounce the name of this at this moment in time, but I'll try that for next week. But I'm just going to say the Welsh team because they have this beautiful dragon design on their car. So he's put that car in pole position. We have Cartman just behind in second, and G Rabbit in third. I'm going to take a breather just for a split second, because that qualifying section was pretty all go. So I think I need to just take a breather for a second before the race starts, because the first few laps there's a lot will be happening. Yep, I have my tea handy, Kim. It's still warm, so nice cup of tea. A beverage of choice for any occasion, to be honest. So yes, 5 minutes. Drivers are going to take a break for themselves, get rested. But yeah, I think do need to appreciate how close the front three are competing at this moment in time. G Rabbit's car, I super disappointed to see has taken a slight power decrease. So yeah, he's basically at the same time as the both of them. And yeah, that's quite an impressive improvement from G Rabbit. We haven't seen Luco last season, but I do know he's always a driver who's developing himself and working hard in the background. So I'm not surprised too much to see him up there. I was warned about G Rabbit, but I am definitely convinced he is a contender, at least for this race today. And Cartman had to be up there, so you did. You couldn't just take a day off, finish back there, with the others. So yeah, at the front as always, Cartman is in second place. So yeah, and just looking down the grids, we have Paul GTUKR, the team leading driver, Cartman's teammate as well, in fourth position with a very strong time. He did look like he was doing well, especially at the start. He just didn't quite keep with the front three in terms of the car getting lighter and pushing, but he I think he is getting quite a bit quicker. So So yeah, and he's our fastest VR driver at the minute. Ivan in P5, Team Motion Blur, and we have S8 H-Boss in P6, just the first driver over a second off the front. On a lap that's about 1:46, which is isn't that far off when you think about it. A lap like this, especially one so technical. Gadget, the series organizer, in P7. As I say, he's our existing champion. We actually have only one champion in Tier 1 this season, one previous champion. So Gadget's the closest we have to a reigning champion this season, currently in 7th place. Obviously in the Supra, I'm interested to see how he's going to get on with that one. Obviously G Rabbit's doing quite well, but of course that's in the sister team, the Team Motion Blur. And then of course we have Mickey, the Balkan team, I believe he is in Balkan Motorsport. Yes, he is. He's in 8th place, and I believe Miller will be our 9th place driver. So yeah, that's the rundown of the grid, and not long now, 2 minutes before the race starts. It's going to be very interesting. I hope we get through the start of this quite clean. If anyone's listening, I just want to warn, dirty air coming down that hill, lap 1. We've seen it before. If you're not prepared for it, it can be lethal. So hopefully all the drivers are careful coming down the hill. It's the first time they'll be in battling with slipstream. So yeah, they won't be able to go through those corners flat out like they did in qualifying. They'll need to lift. So hopefully everyone's aware of that and conscious of that. But yes, I have a lot of confidence in the grid at the minute. But yes, hopefully after such a competitive qualifying, yeah, we have a nice clean start to the race. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm not sure how strategy is going to go, but yes, I guess I'll be as surprised as yourselves this one. 60 seconds to go. And from the chat, the drivers were right on the money. We did say the fast guys would be doing the 46s, 47s and 48s. I'll have a wee look at what Tier 2 are doing later as well. I imagine they'll be have one or two drivers in the 47s. Most of the grid should be 48s, 49s. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, the race starts imminent. I will say this has been quite fun, this qualifying and practice so far. This has flown in, to be honest. I do miss the driving a wee bit, but I will say time does drag a wee bit more for some reason. But spectating, yeah, this is flying in for me. I will say. Okay, good luck everyone. Just keep it clean and have a good race. Let's hope not, please. Let's hope not. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go. A jump start from Gadget. In the back, Ivan manages to get around him. Luca with a great start. And we have Cartman, who he's looking back now at the pack. As we now come down the hill. So we have Luco leading us. And we have Cartman, G Rabbits, and a few drivers getting quite close here. I believe we've all made it through that that sort of downforce trap quite well. This tricky braking zone. Most of the drivers keeping it single file. Very neat and tidy, very impressive first lap by everyone so far. Of course, the Supra doesn't have a good start. It's put G-Rabbit under a bit of pressure from the fast starting Porsches. As we see, a nice move by H-Boss there, moving himself up into 4th position. Sort of taking advantage of the VR aspect does leave you a bit of a blind spot, taking a wee sneaky overtake, and a very impressive one on Paul there for P4. And let's make sure we have Luco's by a 7/10 lead. Cartman's still there. And H-Boss, oh, we have Mickey. Mickey is going through the tunnel. It's going to be difficult for these two. Oh, we've had a wee bit of contact. No one's managed to pick up damage there, fortunately. Both drivers there, Ivan Valiev and Mickey, have lost some time to Paul, maybe about half a second there. But yeah, thankfully no one got too hurt by that scenario. Let's see here. Remember in the last Gran Turismo we had a variable camera that was a bit further out and you could see things a bit better. This is a bit close, this camera, but yeah, I'll try my best to let you see as much as possible. Coming down the hill into overtaking spot. Cartman's starting to work on getting closer. Oh, Ivan! Surprising overtake there. I'm not sure how that came to occur, but he has backed out of it and let Gadget retain that position, so the dramas are going to come of that. Ivan Gadget retains the 8th place. Ivano himself will be serving that penalty. Miller's managed to capitalise on that. Let's just make sure we're not missing anything up front. Luco's held out a wee gap from the start there. Cartman seemed to have had a wee bit more trouble for that section. H-Boss and Paul, battle starting with these two. I think I saw it a wee bit in oh yeah, well that's letting me zoom in. So I can have a wee zoom in, but I can't want to zoom out at this stage. But focusing on the action, Luco's had a good lap. I mean, we will say that Cartman had a good lap in terms of catching up, but yeah, Luco has extended his gap there. Paul and H-Boss, are we going to have an overtake here in the turn 1? Yes, we are. Paul's not going to leave us disappointed. Does back out though. It doesn't feel like he was just close enough to H-Boss there. And Ivan and Mickey, Gadget, Miller and Vano. This is where the pack's starting to form a few 3-second gaps, you know, just so you can afford to keep within your own air pockets, not stress your tyres out too much. The two Porsches having a nice wee battle. Cartman seemed to gain a bit of time either on the straights or under the braking in that RX VGT RX Vision. Mazda RX. It's the Mazda RX, that's what I'll call it. And then, as with last lap as well, just as we come through that twisty section, Luco has a wee advantage. So the handling of Luco's car seems to be its strength here versus Cartman. I think just nip on board here just to see about if there's definitely something in this part of the track that so far Cartman's been doing a wee bit better. We'll see if it's free here. Ooh, he's had a wee bit of trouble there. G-Rabbit has, from being a second behind, has started to close in. It did take a wee gap, but this battle's still just H-Boss ahead of Paul. Ivan and Mickey, same order as well. And thankfully no dramas back here, but Ivano's obviously, we've got Miller actually has had some contact with the wall, peels into the pits. I think he actually did cut the pit lane, so we'll check back on that. I believe he may have picked up a penalty for that. So yeah, we have had an incident. Miller near the back of the pack just has had a wee mishap and made contact with the wall, so he'll drop back. And the front three, like in qualifying, they look a bit inseparable, to be honest. No real obvious winner of the three at the minute. They're all sort of keeping with each other. Lico, of course, leading at the moment. And Paul has managed to get ahead of H-Boss. I believe that must have been into the chicane. The chicane that Miller's just coming up to now. And yeah, as I sort of predicted, Miller has picked up a penalty. We've got Taiwo, E2. Thanks for tuning in. He's given his support to G Rabbit. He is doing a great job. He's started to obviously with the super having a bad start, putting on the back foot. He has started to recover from that. Quite neutral, so I'd say G Rabbit almost has the advantage considering the super's reasonably poor race start. Of course, we did miss that overtake from Paul on H-Boss, but he is streaming this evening in VR, so yeah, you can tune in later to see how he managed to get the overtake done on H-Boss. Other drivers today streaming will be Cartman and I believe that's the onboards that we do have an option for if you are looking to see how some of the drivers are doing individually. Yeah, as we come into lap 5, things are starting to calm down. Just having a car where there's no clear winner here, but if I were to guess, I'd say we're a bit further away through the stint for tires. But yeah, we'll see how that progresses for these guys. See, Luco has actually managed to pick up a penalty. I think we might have actually just caught that. Let's go have a wee look here from G Rabbit's perspective. So we're going to have a change for position once we get around the corner. Actually, see, I'm not sure Cartman. It almost looks like he didn't want to wait till around the corner. Gotten very close to Luco. But as we see Luco serve his penalty, Cartman will take over the lead, and Luco is going to be able to defend from G Rabbit, and yeah, what I would say is that the fair favourite Cartman is now in the lead of the race. Luco, just with that wee penalty, will hope he's able to keep pace and make up for that. Although I might get from bad to a wee bit worse for Luco here, because the usually fast super has now got a run. As you see, geez, pulling out, he is going to make the overtake, and he does get that one done quite comfortably over Luco. And he's going to be hoping to close down on Cartman next. He hasn't lost any ground really. Yeah, I mean, that's this Supra has just taken a 6 horsepower nerf, and it looked very comfortable going past Luco there down the straight. So the Supra is definitely still a weapon. The latest BOP update hasn't taken this car away from being that. It is a strong car, and it still is a strong car despite the recent nerf. I've come to Cartman a bit. His car seems to be one of the few that was unaffected, neither buffed nor nerfed. Alex Vision is in the perfect place according to Prolifting Visual at the moment, and Cartman's with that as well. It is a car he has talked about recently. He is enjoying driving this Alex Vision. So Paul had a better qualifying than H-Boss. Did end up behind H-Boss, but has managed to get back in front. Ivan was holding a lead from Mickey. Mickey's now dropping back closer to Gadget. Currently second place in terms of the VR drivers, I would believe. Just going to have a wee look on the back here with a new livery addition with the VR that Gadget has added to the back of his car. And I did just tune in just in time to see him get that penalty. He through that very tight, very nimble section, even if you don't get totally wrong, you can still pick up a penalty just by going too aggressive on the cuts. Good eye sort of how we look there, because this battle might have been getting away from me. G-Rabbit has closed with a 3 attempts that last lap, so it's getting a bit closer to an overtaking position on Cartman for G-Rabbit. He is going to be in a good position if that's Super in the straights. Still a good position with it. I will say, normally with myself, the Super is a car that I've always had to think a bit more about the tyres on. Had to take extra care with it. I wouldn't say how G-Rabbit's managing it. He has from watching his qualifying, he's a bit of a different driver to me with his Super, so yeah, I think he's maybe a bit quicker than me, if I'm completely honest. With the recent BOP updates, the Super taking a few hits. I have dropped from winning races with it to not winning many with it, and G-Rabbit's sort of proven that the Super is still strong, it is still capable of competing. By almost closing down our race leader, Cartman. But Luco is now 1.6 seconds behind, having some issues getting this together. Obviously Gadget was serving that penalty, has dropped back from Mickey, but with laps go on, I have a funny feeling Gadget might be able to challenge Mickey for this 7th place. Of course, that was where Gadget qualified. Ivano sort of in a bit of a no man's land. I do know Ivano is quite good with the tuning, but yeah, a lot of his tunes have been used by the likes of Gary and his Too Fast, so I believe he's going to be a strong influence in this championship. He's obviously stayed in Tier 1 because he performed last season, but yeah, so far this race I imagine he'd like to be a bit closer to the action. Miller has managed to pick up another bit of damage. We half-second penalty as well. It's quite unfortunate. He's gone with a difficult car, not the fastest car, but yeah, he's definitely going to be learning quite a lot today with the incidents he's had. Choosing to stay out, doesn't want to risk getting a penalty like he did before. So yeah, that is our top 10, our grid so far at the moment. Coming up to a 13-minute mark. If I were to think, I'll pit around 50 minutes, a possibility. Thinking whether any of these drivers could go to 20, I'm not 100% sure. But I don't also know how far you can push the tyres around here. Some tracks you can push them right to the edge. Some tracks you need to have a wee bit of margin for it. But we do see Cartman has extended his gap. G-Rabbit was applying a lot of pressure to him in the last few laps, so it's swung a bit further towards Cartman here. Still the front two only a second apart. Now leading Luco by 2 seconds. He's starting to look over his shoulder maybe at Paul, who's closing in on him with the Porsche. So yeah, so far if we just look at the pace, then the race pace of the BMW doesn't look like it's holding up against the RX Vision, the Supra, or possibly the Porsche. But I always understood the Porsche was definitely a better race car than a qualifying car, if that makes sense. Just noticing Ivan is replaced. Ivan has gotten quite close to H-Boss. So Vlev, I should say, even is almost thinking about overtaking the driver ahead of him in the Porsche. I do like this design with the white. very Las Vegas Ferrari, you know, livery kind of design. Very reminiscent of it. Of course, these liveries by Luco do remind me a bit of Ferrari, but this is a Welsh livery. It's I guess I'd be aware to know their football team runs these colours. So and after visiting there last 6 months or so, yeah, it is kind of like a national sort of colour flag combination for them. Of course, I believe HBoss is English. The other 3 drivers in this leading team and sister team, I believe, are Welsh. But yes, he's gonna hold that position for the meantime. G-Rabbit starting to gain that time back, getting a wee bit closer to Cartman. Is making that super work very well. This is an awfully impressive drive, I will say. It does seem to be stand-up performance so far through this is G-Rabbit. I will sort of say that's my sort of view on that one. Ivan and HBoss getting close. Maybe Mickey might start to get close with these two battling. Let's see if Ivan thinks he can make a move here. Not quite just yet. As we get to a quiet critical time, I can sort of point out pretty much the whole grid at the minute is getting to that pinch point in tyres where you're starting to lose pace, you're starting to think, oh, when am I going to have to lift off a lot to, you know, survive? But yeah, we don't have any sort of clear advantages on tyres at this moment in time. And can always be very difficult to make the overtakes, but mistakes will happen when you're driving the cars in these conditions. Just watch the front two gingerly try and make their way through. As we enter into lap 10, come down the front straight, completely unaware. I'm not actually sure when these drivers are pitting, but they are pitting now. I was looking at those tyres thinking it's getting a bit close, lads. Look who's gonna stay out, which is, to be fair, you know, he was coming towards the pit stops. I can't say Luca was actually losing tyres quicker, but he's got more tyres at this moment in time than the other drivers, you know. But and that's why he can go for that extra lap. So we'll see how this works out for him. So no fuel taken on. Cartman leading G-Rabbit out. These two will and should retain the lead. Paul is coming out of the lap there. I'm not actually sure what the pit lane was. We're going to see as we get around this corner. But none of the drivers, it's that solid line I think is the limit. So that white solid line is the limit, and all of our drivers have managed to avoid touching it. No pit lane penalties so far from this flurry of pit stops that we have. So Luco, only driver to stay out after that, leads Cartman by 16 seconds, and G-Rabbit in turn 6/10 behind the driver. And of course Cartman's teammate is about 10 seconds behind. So we've got our front three, possibly front two. We'll see what happens with the strategy. But I think going to that 20-minute mark means Lucas should be coming back at the front two in the next stint and the stint after if he's able to use his tyre advantage. And perfectly timed, I mean, we say time not in fuel's perfect when you're at 0.0, but when you come into pits and your tyres just run out in the last corner, that means you've used all of your tyres up to the max. So Luco pretty much perfect in terms of tyre usage. Maybe lost a second or two, so he should definitely come up behind Cartman and G-Rabbits, but we'll see if Paul is close enough to manage to trouble him, but I don't believe so. I believe Luca should get out ahead still. and does as well, just 5 seconds behind the front two. But this could be this strategy decision could be big for Lico. He's definitely got the car that has the longer he can go a bit longer, and he's always got to have that bit more tire life as well. So yeah, he's given himself an advantage to work with to try and close that 5 seconds down. But yeah, these two at the front, they're just in a chess match a bit at the minute. You know, both equally as fast. It's just about who's in front of the other at this stage, and we'll see if the tires manage to make the difference. Both drivers did come closer and further away in the last stints as well. There's been a couple of laps, I believe, since we've had an overtake, so I'm going to keep an eye on the mini map there. Make sure I don't miss it when it does happen. But yeah, we have G-Rabbit currently has the fastest lap. He's also gone purple. Now that the fresh tyres are back on these cars, we should see maybe another fastest lap coming in a moment. And I did notice as well, Nessie has put out a bounty, usual sort of schedule. He's put a 100 million offer to G-Rabbit if he does take Cartman out. But yeah, he would pick up a penalty if he did so. We always like to make sure our races are clean. But yes, if G-Rabbit's listening, Liam Nessie has offered to give you $100 million if you were doing service at but I don't recommend you do. I know he will want to beat Cartman in a straight fight, and both. Well, I know from many times racing Cartman is a very clean driver, and I've never seen anything G-Rabbit's done this indicate he's a good driver. I just have done a lot more racing with Cartman. Lico is now 5.4 behind. He's lost 4 tenths since the pit stops. Paul's 6-7 seconds behind. He's not really threatening Lico at the stage. H-Boss, who was battling with Paul, you can see him, but he's kind of in a battle with Flev at this moment in time in the BMW. Flev, who I think he's the one driver who did the best. He did the best with tyres in the first stint, so for me that is essentially a win. So for me the tyres seem to be more important than winning sometimes, so I guess Ivan would be my favourite from that first stint. But yes, he is trying to keep tags with H-Boss in that pacey Porsche. Gadgets, as I predicted, starting to get closer to Mickey. I think these two are going to have an interesting fight towards the end. Ivan isn't Ivano. I have made that mistake a couple of times, to apologise, but he is he's actually not that far off Gadgets. His pit stop's due soon though, so being out of sync, he will drop back a bit. But yeah, his best lap's 1:49. He's just maybe about a second on average ahead of Miller. Who are both trying to get to grips with their new cars. Cartman, 1.3 seconds now, lead over G-Rabbit. But I believe in the first stint, Cartman did have the best start to this stint. G-Rabbit came out on later in that stint. Lico has been 2 tenths, so he's still trying to say to G-Rabbit here, I'm still going to be battling with you at lap times. I'm still thinking about catching you. So he's still working away at that gap. 1:46.8 on that last lap. Did notice G-Rabbit was just a wee bit ragged that last lap, so I do expect him to collect this together and continue trying to make gains on Cartman. It's 1 second in it though, almost half an hour into the race. This is quite a competitive race. This isn't just a case of Cartman running away with it, that is for sure. He was the existing driver who was battling with myself in blue last season. And the season before, the one that was getting the race wins, one of those that was always in the shout for a victory. But he has got G-Rabbit for company so far, in the sister team for the Team Motion Blur. Don't know, did I say the name on that? No. Team Motion Blur, yeah. I'll just follow those two drivers for a minute while I actually find out what the sister team for Team Mission Blair is called. My apologies, but I do have it on my computer here. So we've got Team Mission Blair Serbia, which is more to do with. Or is it? No, that would have been Vlav's team actually from last season. I'm looking up last season. 2024 season 1. Yes, I don't actually have those yet. We'll have those next week. Yeah, I think I need to go to Discord to find that. ADEC teams and numbers. Okay. It's difficult to stop watching these two. Just because they're seconds, I feel like one mistake from either driver will make this a battle for the lead, and I really don't want to miss it. But I also don't want to miss what's going on in the rest of the pack. The rest of the battles that are starting to brew. Something has happened to Gadget here. Lap 13, 152. I picked up a penalty just after his fastest lap 2. No damage, but yeah, that's dropped him a bit behind Mickey. Mickey's putting on a good performance in P7 at the minute. We sort of see, for future reference, how Blade's catching each boss in this race. So he started as second. He's gained 3 tenths on H boss, and he's got over half a second from a second back. So if Flav can get to that corner next, and he's about maybe 6 tenths behind, that could be an overtake for him going into turn 1. You know, either that or he just waits for a mistake from H boss. But that could be an in for the Serbian driver. Luco is just maintaining the gap since the pit stops. But as we get to the last few laps, he'll definitely have a lap where he'll have a significant pace advantage over the front two, I believe. So don't count out Luco just yet. It is also good to see that the 3 drivers at the front are all on different teams. This is the start of our team championship, so last few seasons when we did have teams, it was myself and Cartman into GT Racing that would have been the stronger of the teams. But yeah, it's a bit more even. It does appear. I'm where the G Rabbit's teammate is in tier 2, I believe. Luco, obviously, his teammates in tier 2, I believe, as well. Paul's, of course, with Cartman, so they should be the team that would be leading. If things stay as they are, with 2 drivers in strong tier 1 positions, they are the leading team if the results were to stay as they are. Yeah, this battle is going to be heating up, so I should be keeping an eye on H-Boss and Liv, and Carmen and Mickey's calm down a wee bit. So at the minute we've got a battle between Cartman and G, still to be settled, I believe. Nico has dipped under that 5 seconds for the first time there. It seems like he might be starting to gain that tyre advantage. Obviously pitting early, I think it is clear to say there is a visual difference here for Nico. His tyres definitely have a bit more tread in them than the front two. as he's starting to close that 5-second gap down now. So yes, with the sort of long fast corners in the circuit, it can get a few gaps between drivers. If you, it can be difficult to get really close. This is a 60-minute race, so we're halfway through. Lap 18 has just finished, so 36 laps, possibly. We'll have another pit stop, at least. One more pit stop for most of the drivers, probably. Possibly two. This pit stop loss isn't big here, so I mean, if it were me, I think the optimal strategy might be a 3-stop rather than the 2-stop, but we'll see what the drivers go with. So yeah, 36 lap is what I think we're going for today. Actually, we're just starting lap 18 with 31 minutes, so it's probably going to be something more like 34. But yeah, kind of sad thinking about it that way, because I'm actually quite enjoying this, so I don't want to think about it being over. But yeah, we'll just try and see as things get on. I should jump on board with Ivan today, because with the front two sort of in a bit of a skirmish, it seems like Ivan's challenge for H-Boss for 5th position seems like the closest battle we have at the moment. These two drivers keeping it very steady, very consistent. Sort of high 47s, low 48s, both drivers, most laps. So yeah, they are very evenly matched in these two different cars. Others may know more about the BOP, but these cars feel like they're quite similar to me. It doesn't feel like one's overly fast in the straights. They just handle a bit different because of the drivetrain, but overall you're getting about the same wear, you're getting about the same fuel, so we'll see how it goes. Paul sits at 1:47.777. Nice round lap time on lap 18. These two speedsters at the front, just starting to build a wee bit of distance between them. I think 1.5 seconds on lap 19. This is the biggest the gap has been for the lead this race. Obviously it was Luco who led us from pole position. He's already picked up points, so he is our championship leader with those extra bonus points for the fastest lap so far, is Luco. Obviously if his tyre advantage is just seen a wee bit of a kick of oversteer when he came out of that corner, but yeah, he's still 5 seconds behind. I think Luco is the fastest car on track at this stage. He just has having a couple of moments, Carmen might have. It's hard to tell. The split's moving around a wee bit between these two. Oh, we've got a bit of a gap has formed between H-Boss and Flav. It seems he's stayed consistent, he hasn't felt the pressure, and is now holding that lead. I'm going to try and pronounce this. Wide drag off. Yeah, I'm going to have to Google that later. Sorry for my pronunciation there. I feel like I should have rehearsed that one. But yes, you can see out the front window that well steam. Flav is still there though, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that just in case a battle does occur. And I mean, it looks like he's driving with a bit of confidence now that he's built a wee gap to G-Rabbit. It can be difficult because that does give you a bit of confidence then, so for the driver following, he may find it a bit difficult. Both drivers using all the track limit there, getting right up to the wall. Nico as well. Now he has gained a couple of attempts on the front. I'd say at this stage he's more catching G Rabbit. The time G Rabbit's hemorrhaging the past 2 laps to Cartman, Lico has been picking up, so he might be recognising that come the end of these stints, if he can keep it consistent the next one, he might be able to take a good chunk, because yeah, with the times they've pitted and when they're going to have to pit in future, it does feel like it's a good position for Lico in terms of gaining. These front 2 are the quickest, but I don't think they're going to be much quicker. They're quite on the limit of their tyres and their strategy, so they don't have extra tyre wear to use, which I think Lico has at the moment. But that's just natural considering the lap he pitted on versus the front 2 drivers. Paul's been driving very well. PlayStation VR driver in 4th position, fastest lap of 1:47.1. Porsche's a solid car, and then the undulation. I can imagine this is quite fun. I honestly haven't driven this track in VR, but I can imagine it's quite fun for Paul to get around here. You'll be feeling the camber quite a lot. All these interesting camber corners that you get on the original tracks, like the one we're coming down to now with Gadget. Gadget's managed to shred his front tyres quite a bit. Yes, this is a very tricky cambered corner, but and then this one's a nice cambered corner that you can be more aggressive with than you think, more often than not. And then these are kind of off-con. There's a wee bit there, so the corners kind of help you get around. But this one's very sketchy for trying to turn in there, as I do recall. Vano, I think, might have just had an incident there, as you see a bit of tyre smoke coming from the rear of his car, with front damage as well. Do you notice as well, G Rabbit has elected to come into pits on the 38-minute mark, so he's going to be pushing it to get to the end of this race in a good position with tyres, because he might have to do the last lap without much tyre wear, but we'll see. We're going to have 11 minutes to go. He has fueled up from 11% to 50%, so he's elected to put 40% in there. That's what he's felt he needed to get to the end, I believe. So, of course, with the car being lighter, his tyres might last the 22 minutes, but we will see. It's possibly the magic number around that 50%, because Vallejo's gone for it as well. So yeah, a few pit stops. G-Rabbit has come out, and Vallejo has actually gotten a jump on H-Boss in the pits, so that position swap has occurred, and H-Boss will now think about trying to keep with Vallejo, because he was the leading driver before. It's possible he does have more pace, so he'll be hoping to catch Vallejo coming to the end of the race. I believe for G, he's definitely considering this to be his last stint on his tyres, so yeah, we'll see how this goes. Imagine we'll see Cartman and Lico possibly coming in this lap. I would be surprised if Cartman stayed out with those tyres. Yes, he does pit, and with 9% versus the 11% whenever G pitted the lap ago, I'd say they're quite even. Lico, I think, might honestly pit there out of fuel as much as tyres, with 5% right on the limits. Paul, marginally the best, better than the front three on fuel, so he could have revved that a wee bit more, might have gotten a wee bit closer, but he will gain a small bit of time in the pit lane here. So an advantage believe has occurred. Cartman, it's actually going to be close. We have a battle for the lead. G-Rabbit shoots the undercut. He's around the outside of Cartman, but Cartman has used the inside to the higher ground to keep that position. Going down the hill though, G-Rabbit's going to have his tires up at the temperature. Will he take advantage of that going into the hairpin? Possibly one of the sketchiest overtaking opportunities, but yeah, he's definitely hounding Cartman as they come out of the pits. It's a very important stage. If he's able to get in front of Cartman at this stage, he will be sending that dirty air back to Cartman and affecting his tires. So with 5/10, the Super having such good straight line speed, if he's able to use one of these two straights, either the back straight or the front straight, to get the advantage, this could be a pivotal point in this race. But yeah, I was actually quite surprised because I definitely thought Cartman had a bit of a better fuel, but of course G with the undercut has gotten very close. 5/10 only. We'll use a bit of the slipstream, gain a wee bit coming down to the tunnel, and then he'll try and stay close through these very difficult twisty chicanes at the end of the track. And basically flat out from here to the end of the track, he'll be hoping to keep the foot down. Let's see if there's any traction control interruption here. Nope, there's no red appearing, so we'll see. Don't think he's close. Don't think it's close enough. It's definitely gaining, but it's not going to be enough. That was very, very, very close between the two. Just when Cartman's coming out of the pits, but he has held off the challenge to G-Rabbit. Now into lap 24. He will be. Oh, that could have been a moment. Dipping a wee bit of a wheel onto dirt there, getting a wee bit sketchy. No penalties, no dramas, but he's having to push it to stay ahead of G here. Definitely an impressive lap, that last lap. You know, to have cold tires and hold off that challenge, that's very impressive driving from Cartman. He's always been one who's done well in the pressure moments, you know, when it has come down to it, and he retains the lead at the minute. So, look at our poles there. Is now several seconds behind the front two. Obviously, he had less fuel when they were putting the fuel in. That is why he has dropped that extra second or two. But yeah, still pretty much maintaining pace with the front two. Just come the first stint ends, going into the second stint, he ran a bit longer in the first stint. That's why he's lost maybe 5 seconds or so, I believe, is him doing that extra lap at the start. You know, he pushed his tires to a position where they were very slow for him, and doing that extra lap at the start definitely dropped him back a bit, I think. 1 second now, gap at the front. So go through, check out how everyone else is getting on. Paul's in a bit of a no man's land here. You can just see Miller that's ahead of him, but that's a lapped car for Paul. Then Flav is extending his gap over H-Boss, so he's proven that he was being maybe affected by that dirty air, and he's looking a bit quicker now. He's gotten ahead of the Porsche driver, and Mickey is still ahead of Gadget. Gadget's in the VR. It can be difficult, and he is this track, especially with how sketchy it is. It can be certain challenges of VR, and obviously Paul's doing a great job in P4, and a testament to that is just how Gadget's doing in P8. You know, usually a driver who'd be definitely battling with the likes of H-Boss at least, and his Team Ocean Blur teammate Liv. Both very similar on pace. He would like to be doing better, but yeah, still having the wheel of the time in VR. I'm sure he's driving away there in 8th place. Just see Paul has come up to a couple of back markers actually. I believe Cartman and G actually jumped the back markers in the pits, so that is very lucky. there wasn't a happening moment. You know, usually you get that when cars are so close. You know, when the lap driver does come up, a sort of Hackman and Schumacher moment where it can change who's leading, and then that does change the outline of the race. But in the pit stops, I haven't seen them overtake the back markers. I've been watching for most of the race, so they did just get lucky and jumping in that pit stop process. And unfortunately Paul has been affected by it, but he does have a several second buffer back there to Leo. So as long as everyone keeps it clean, there always can be moments, especially around here. It is very easy to crash. So far, the only ones we have had incidents has been Gadget with a few contacts with the wall. Miller's had the most troubles. He's been keeping it clean though. He's measured it with Ivano here and has managed to get ahead of Ivano, because Ivano did have an incident, I remember, where his tires were smoking quite a bit. We just caught the end of it. But yes, Miller is now ahead of him. But this should be a position change this lap. If both drivers just keep it clean, Ivano should be able to patiently move past Miller on the straights, provided there's no dramas. But we will see. We will see. Of course, that was the Paul lapping the two drivers that kind of brought them a bit closer together. And might have led to Miller's penalty. But now we're going to have Ivano possibly getting an overtake done on this back straight. Miller moves over to let Ivano pass, and the two continue their battle. We'll see if there's any more position changes between these two drivers. Of course, with there being 10 drivers in it, they're going to score points, or going to score okay points, even when they're finishing 9th and 10th. I think I've seen someone getting away with sideways there, but it was maybe just Ivano driving through that chicane. Even when you go through it, well, it can look a bit sketchy. 148, 147, 6. Is H-Boss starting to get a good rhythm? Is he starting to reel in Leo for this P5 position? I think he is. Keep an eye on that one. But yeah, this battle at the front, geez, just keeping Cartman honest. Maybe Cartman's just managing the gap in relation to his base a wee bit. But yeah, doing a 146.4 followed by another 146.4 for Cartman. And G-Rabbit's lost about 3/10 in that same time. Times are very, very close, but yeah, just losing a 10th here and there. He is just dropping back a wee bit from Cartman as he gets close to the wall. They do like to do that, going through that corner, getting as close to the wall as they can, using all the track grips to get your power down. It is good to hear a rotary engine though leading the race. It's a nice choice even just for that by Cartman. I do appreciate that. It's a very nice sounding car. I will be honest, I'm not familiar with much with this car, but yeah, Cartman's obviously proven it is quite a weapon, to say the least. Leading us on lap 27. We're coming into the last 10 minutes of this race. Final stages, as we can tell, we've got this battle for the leads. Luco seems in a secure third position, actually just set the fastest lap of a 146.3. Did miss that, but yes, Luco has picked up the fastest lap, proving that he has a good bit of pace still. It's just that I think a few strategy decisions, maybe he took some risks he shouldn't have with the early stint, might have cost him, but yeah, doing that 146.3 faster than Cartman's been able to do. Actually, Cartman's just done the 146.3 as well, but just not quite as fast as Luco. Maybe about 3 thousandths of a second Luco's was over Cartman. Yeah, maybe they'll have a lap or two where they can keep going like this before the tyres start to push them back a bit. But we will see. We will see indeed. I will say as well, like, although G-Rabbit has put himself on the back foot for tyres, he did the perfect thing going for that undercut, because if he managed to get ahead of Cartman, it would have changed the complexion. It would have been about him trying to get away in clean air and Cartman trying to manage his car in the dirty air. And after a very close qualifying, where all three of them could have started on pole. You know what I mean? It just seems like luck has prevented G Rabbit possibly getting the win today. But only one driver can win, and at the minute it does look like it's going to be Cartman at this stage, provided he keeps it clean. Of course, Paul is leading off the VR drivers, has just gotten into 146s with 146.7. I think that's very close to his qualifying lap. Very, very close indeed. Yeah, I think he did a 146.7 in qualifying. I can check that later though. And then Ivan and H-Boss have navigated the traffic. Miller has actually gotten ahead of Ivano, with Ivano picking up a penalty as well. So sorry for missing that battle, guys. But yeah, Miller has managed to take that position. Mickey is in P7. Was challenged by Gadget early on, but has gotten that comfortable lead over Gadget of 20 seconds now. Both drivers should be going to the end on these tyres. So we just have a possibility of Ivano serving that penalty. Maybe if we can get a rhythm, start setting 149s again, he can get close to Miller, and I think he could do that. So it will be interesting to see. I don't think this battle is over yet between these two. Yes, maybe 5 tenths this lap. It looks like G Rabbit's going to be losing in his personal best compared to Cartman, who's only maybe a tenth or two off. Last lap was a 47.2, so we are again with 8 minutes to go. I think it is pretty clear that G Rabbit's starting to hit the tire life, and it's starting to affect his lap times. Definitely more than Cartman. But as I say, yeah, it was what he had to do. He had to go for the undercut, and it almost worked. it was almost the perfect strategy, but now we're starting to see the consequences of that. Is his tires are going to go off a bit too soon. He's got an 8-second gap back to Lico, so even if he has to do one lap with no tyre wear whatsoever, he will do it, and I think he'll be safe in doing that. He's got very good control over his car. So as long as he plays the margins right, he should maintain this P2. So yeah, Cartman just has to keep it straight, keep his pace. He's got a good buffer, and yeah, we'll chin in with him closer to the end. I think he is going to be our race winner today. Anything can happen, but yeah, he does look to have a strong buffer now, especially so late in the race. Ivan has gone past. No, it's Hitchboss that was closing down. We have two drivers that have been battling the whole race. Like Cartman and G Rabbit, they've never been more than a second apart, these two. We'll see if H-Boss can get this to work, because he's got the pace. It sounds a bit sketchy on the tyres there. Almost had a wee slide, but he does have the pace. He just needs to get his timing right. He was a wee bit sluggish through that corner. Just a wee bit sluggish. So yeah, BMW's got a bit more straight line speed, so H-Boss is going to be struggling to get an overtake done in the turn one. He's he's got the advantage in the corners. I do see that's where his pace is coming from. So he's going to have to. I'm thinking that awkward chicane section where I think he made the move at the very start of the race. I think that might be his best chance if he's going to overtake Vlave here. But yes, Vlave definitely holding on to his 5th position. It is a very strong amount of points, especially for these drivers. They are likely to be competing with each other, Paul and Gadget, throughout the season. I expect these drivers and Mickey potentially as well to be competing for that position, 5th, 6th in the league. We'll see how things go. With a few drivers being missing today, I know Gary isn't racing. He's usually quite a bit quicker, so this is a good opportunity for these drivers to get good points. And to be honest, looking back at this full race, the front 3 were very impressive. I honestly am very surprised by G-Rabbit, so if I'm going to comment on my driver of the day, he would be definitely up there, but I think out of the whole grid, I definitely have to take this Paul, because he's using the BR. He's, even on when he didn't use VR, he didn't show this level of pace. He has definitely come on leaps and bounds over the Christmas break. And he is looking like a real challenger who could develop and pick up a few podiums this season. So yeah, I think my driver of the day would be the GTUKR team leader H Pack, as his name's listed there, or Paul. I'm sorry, you'll have to correct me on this pronunciation. But yes, I think I'm going to give you my driver of the day. Cartman is just. He's a very difficult man to beat. He's obviously driven very well, but I have seen him win races by 20 seconds, and today G-Rabbit has kept him honest. Only strategy has meant that we've got a 3-second gap here. If they pitted at the same time every lap, it would be a second and a half between these two, I do believe. So yeah, I will check back with them, but looking at everything, I think we have to just keep an eye on this battle, because H-Boss is trying his hardest to make it, and he's going to go for his classic move, but he backs out. It was Vlave did try and defend that, tried to be a bit aggressive and said no, not today. It's the end of the race, maybe on lap 1, but it's the end of the race. He was not having it. That was where I thought H-Boss would go for it, but he did go for it just as I predicted. It's just Vlave wasn't having it today. Wasn't having it today. Coming into the last lap, these two have to be separated. They're pretty much nose to tail. We'll see what happens. H-Boss is behind the BMW, but the straight line speed, and especially with an exit from the chicane, just a wee bit off like that, he's not going to be making it in the turn 1. He's going to be hoping he can get close through the twisties and have the same move he just did on this lap, just getting the timing just a bit better, and he might be able to do this. So yeah, the 2:40 seconds or so ahead of Cartman. He's got a minute of this lap left, about a minute of the race left. This won't be the last lap, but I'll check in about 40 seconds anyway. But yes, let's just keep a wee eye on this battle with H-Boss. So I think we might have a wee treat for us at the end of the race from these two. Putting on a good show. Both on the limits in different ways. These guys are on the limits in their tyres. I won't say which way it is, but both of these guys have tyres that have run out of grip, and their nose to tail, they have to be separated. H-Boss wasn't able to get close enough. This is going to be the end. Maybe something might happen, but H-Boss at the minute, I think he might be finishing out behind, but it's going to be Cartman. Cartman's going round 1, extremely good performances, doing the classic weaving for the finishing line. Well deserved victory. G Rabbit is our second place driver, and Luco has picked up all the points he can get. He's got pole, he's got fastest lap, and he's got third position. He maximised what he could get. He picked up a lot of points, and he's going to be strong this season, as I did expect. A very strong race. Paul comes home in fourth place. My driver of the day. I'm impressed by this guy. He's going to be exciting to watch this season. It looks like the front tyres of Vliv have worked better because he ran out of front and H-Boss ran out of rears. Rears are more sketchy, the fronts you get more understeer, and it's the personal opinion. That's why Vliv has won that at the end. Mickey comes home in 7th place. And yes, we have our nearest reigning champion, Gadget. He's going to come home in 8th place. Not his finest race. Of course, the last Grand Valley, he did come in 2nd place in VR in the Alfa Romeo. But today, he's going to come home in 8th place in the Toyota Supra. A new car in terms of GT7, something he drove a lot, as I recall, in GT Sport. But it's not been the best return for Gadget in that regard. Vanu has already finished. And Miller ran out of fuel, so there's going to be quite a gap for him to Ivano. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of the race, and it was extremely exciting, especially at the start. We didn't have many battles as the race came to an end, but yes, I'm fairly happy watching that. I fairly enjoyed seeing how everyone got on, and yes, congrats, Carbon, again. You've continued your form, such a high percentage of podiums, wins. You managed to pick it up in race 1, but yeah, I didn't expect for G Rabbit to drive so well. You know, at different points, he definitely looked like the fastest driver on track. So it's not going to be easy for you, Cartman. G Rabbit is going to be keeping you honest, and Luco as well, I do believe. And yes, thanks everyone for tuning into my stream as well. Bottle giving us some great information. He's like an encyclopedia of knowledge. You know, I mean, he always knows the ins and outs of the game, and he doesn't even play this game anymore. You know, he's in TI racing, but he's still so knowledgeable. Kamari, our great commentator, gave me a few tips going into this. You know, thanks again. Thanks also to Gadget and Mickey, who have given me information, especially Mickey. He gave me this great spreadsheet. Now, I was working today, so I didn't have time to study it before the race, but next week I will definitely have a really good look and make sure I can give you guys as much information in future as well. I'll ask a few issues about pronunciation because there's a few things I thought I'd get, but I didn't get under the pressure. But yes, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Yeah, that was good fun for me, and a good race. I'll just throw out a few of my congratulations as we have a look at the seals that are just sort of chilling there on the beach. Sea lions? Yeah, sea lions. Yeah, that's what they are. Yeah, Sea Lion Beach. But yes, thank you all for tuning in. I'm also very impressed by. Yeah, you're right, H-Boss. I need to work on that pronunciation. I couldn't bear myself looking at that car and not knowing what to say. But yeah, well done, and that was a close one. It's a shame. It's a shame that I haven't got the best of you. But yes, thank you. I will try. Ivano has just notified us as well as he's had a few disconnections, so his pace was affected by that. He did come 11th, or yeah, he came 9th. It was Miller came 10th, but he did have a few wheel issues. Just with Miller running out of fuel, it gave the advantage to Ivano in the end. But yes, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Not much more for me to say, but a big thank you, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. This was quite an experience. I'll sort of congest it, and hopefully I'll have a bit more composure. I'll just check as well, but I'm not going to be working during the next race, so I'll have a bit more time. It won't be as much of a rush. So yeah, I do look forward to it. But yes, I will see you all then. Have a wonderful evening, and yeah, keep racing, guys. Catch you later. Bye.